Okay, so I'm leaving pronunciation. I'll come back to it because there are other points here and there that we can look at. We looked at the major points, but right now, I'm leaving pronunciation. Let me share my screen. Okay, hold on. There we go. And it's still called Freaky English. And the reason this is called Freaky English, not so much for pronunciation. This is grammar. But you can see, just like in pronunciation, you can look at a letter in English and not have any idea how you pronounce it. Not have any idea. If you've never seen the word, not have any idea of the pronunciation. That also spills over into other aspects of English. One aspect that it happens to is grammar, parts of speech. So we're going to look at words that are both nouns and verbs. Sometimes, just like when you're talking about English taking French words, sometimes the definitions are related to each other. So sometimes the noun and the verb are related and you can see it. Sometimes not. I give you an example. To skirt is what a woman wears, sometimes maybe even a male wears. It's like a half dress. It's from the waist down. And you put a blouse on top. But if you say all she wanted to do was skirt the issue, skirt is written exactly the same. But it doesn't mean she wants to put a skirt on the issue. When you want to skirt an issue, the word skirt, it means you want to avoid the issue, to not talk about the issue. How would you know that? Unless you know the definition of the words to skirt versus the definition of the word skirt. So we're going to look at some of these words that are both nouns and verbs. To offer, you can say, he made an offer, their offer. By the way, this is how it goes. Noun, first sentence, verb, second sentence. You should be able to see that by its context, but maybe you don't. So that's it, and it doesn't deviate. First sentence it's the noun, second sentence it's the verb. Sometimes you'll know it's the noun because of clues in the sentence. And offer, that's an indefinite article, and normally it goes before a noun. And auxiliary verb can, and then the auxiliary verb not, that's to make it negative. And so that auxiliary verb normally does not go by itself, unless can doesn't mean, because there's can and then there's to can, and those are two different verbs. And usually there's a verb after it, the main verb. So he made me an offer. He can't offer you anything. The meanings are similar. The meanings are similar. To put it on the table, once again, the table. The Congress will table the bill. It depends on whether this is American English or British English. If it's American English, to table the bill will mean to stop talking about the bill, to remove it from discussion anymore. In British English, to table the bill is to talk about the bill, to now for it to be under discussion. It's the complete opposite. Book. This is my favorite book. A book is something that you read. I've already booked the room. Now you're not talking about putting a book in the room. You're talking about reserve the room. So from Saturday to Saturday, you have booked the room, you have reserved the room. The reason they use the word book, it's not as crazy as it might sound, because it used to be, not anymore because now you have computers, but it used to be that when you called or when you wrote in for a reservation, the person would put you in this gigantic book. And there were the rooms, and there they would put your name beside the room and saying, from Saturday, July, boom, to Saturday to July, boom, this person has reserved this room. So that's why they call it to book, to put your name in the book of reservations. But now it's all computerized, so you don't say you computer the room. I think, oh, study. I think that he's in the study. He's in the room that has been designated where you go to either study, to read, to be alone. I can't go, I have to study. That is, you have to study, work that you have to understand and be able, that you're responsible for. She didn't like the dress. The dress is something that you wear. You don't have to dress formally. You don't have to put on clothes. And there, to dress formally or to dress informally or to dress means to put on clothes. I don't put salt in my food, salt being salt. You salt your food too much, which means you put too much salt. That there is completely related. One is completely related to the other. Watch. This is a beautiful watch. Watch, the thing you wear on your wrist. Watch. So it's something you wear on your wrist, and there's the Apple Watch, which is considered very modern, and it can do so many different things, but it's a thing on your wrist, or it's the thing in your pocket. That's a watch also. The thing on your wall is not a watch. A watch is small and convenient. The thing on the wall is a clock. And you can clock in and clock out. When you're at work, you put your card into the machine and you clock in, right? And then you click out, you put the card in the machine to let you know what time you've come in and what time you've left. Okay, that's the clock. So you have clock, that's also, but it's clock in and clock out. But here it's just watch. And I can watch the children. So to watch the children really has nothing to do with this. It's to take care of the children while you're gone. You're gone, you're going to the movies, you're going out on a date, you have to work. So I will watch, I will take care of the children. Talk. We enjoyed your talk very much, your discussion. It's either that you were by yourself at a podium and you're talking, blah, 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 or you are with other people and you're talking. But it's usually when you're by yourself and it's like you give a lecture about something. You always talk too loudly. That means you talk like I'm talking right now, but very loudly. And I do talk very loudly. What's your number? Is your number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then please number each card. Please put on the card the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 20, or whatever. So there it is related. Tape. Did you buy any tape? Tape, let me see. I think here, this is tape. This is tape. This is Scotch tape, okay? It can also be tape, but nobody does that anymore. It used to be you have recordings and you would have recording tape. But no, it's basically this. Did you buy any tape? You can't tape that to the wall. You can't put this on a picture and then put it on the wall. You can't place it on the wall. So it's related. I have tape as I have a tape that we can use. That's when you're going to tape someone, you're going to do the audio and you're going to put it on tape. Not this, but the audio tape. I don't think they still do that anymore. No, but there it doesn't mean tape. No, they don't do that anymore. I think all of it's computerized, but they used to. Recording tape. And then they can tape the song in the studio. That means they can record the song in the studio. He doesn't have a phone being, an Apple phone or a cell phone. Phone me when you get time. Call me on the phone when you get time, which is different than text me, And once again, a text is something that's written. And then you can say text me. So it's a noun, a text, a written document, and then text me, write a document or write something. You text on the phone like direct messaging, DM. Archive, not archive, archive. It's a place where you place something so that it's no longer being used. So you place it in the archive. And then the process of the action of placing it in the archive is to archive. So that's related. Toy. Toy is something you give a child or maybe a grown person, but normally a child to play with. But when you're only toying with somebody's feelings, that's a negative. You're playing with their feelings. You don't mean what you're saying, but the person likes you. So you're toying with his feelings. Okay. Makeup. Makeup is something that women and now men wear in order to cover up the wrinkles or in order to cover up the dark spots. Okay, now, if you're talking about you missed an exam, this is when it's not related. You're talking about when you missed an exam and you want to make up. You want to make up the exam. That means you want to do the exam even though you missed the day for the exam. It's called a makeup. You can take a makeup later. You can take a makeup is the exam that you missed. You can take that later. Okay, I'll never make up for lost time. I will never compensate. I will never get lost time back again. Support. It means basically the same thing. He doesn't have any support. The family won't support her. He doesn't give her any support. That basically means the same thing because I can't do all of them in such detail. So I'm only going to do those ones that are very interesting or they don't mean the same thing. Okay, I still remember my first kiss. I don't want to kiss him. It's a noun and a verb. Coat, don't wear that coat. It's dirty. The coat is what you wear in the wintertime to cover yourself. I'll coat the peanuts with chocolate. I'll cover the peanuts with chocolate. So I guess it's connected. Yeah, it's connected. Please turn off the light. I'll light the candles, right? That's pretty clear. Do you have any glue? Right? Glue is something when you put two things together, you glue it together. It's my job to glue the parts. So to put glue on the parts so they can stick together. Do you hear the whistle? Right? That's a noun. When I get scared, I whistle. I can't whistle very well, right? That's the whistle. What a punch. Boom. You punch somebody like in a fight. The two fighters and one fighter goes boom. Right? And then you can't punch him. You're not allowed to do this to him. Hate is negative and destructive. That is the thing, hate. And I don't hate anybody. It's the process of hating. It's the act of hating. Love, the same thing. Husband, no. Husband is the person with whom you're married, okay? If you're female or male, you can have a husband, just like a female and a male can have a wife. So he is no longer my husband. I'm no longer married to him or her. He carefully husbands his resources. He carefully takes care of his resources so they don't run out or they're not ruined or destroyed. To husband. Breakfast, the thing that you eat in the morning, and we eat that thing in the morning. Once again, lunch is what you eat in the afternoon, and the action of eating that thing in the afternoon is the verb. This is an interesting sketch. It's a drawing, a bear. It's a drawing, but it's like an outline of a drawing. I spent the day sketching. The action of doing that is to sketch. Do you have a brush that I can use? She has to brush her hair first. Brush is what you do to your hair. You brush it, not comb it, but brush it. And the act of brushing it is to brush. That's a big ship. A ship is a vehicle that you ride on the water, a ship. He'll ship it to us today. It means the same. That's connected because he'll send a lot of times it used to be when you would ship something, you would put it on a boat or a ship and you would take it from one location to the other. Now just the ship means to take something from one location to another. It doesn't necessarily mean to do it by ship alone. You can do it by airplane, but you don't airplane it, you ship it. Sculpture, I would like to buy that sculpture. I've never sculptured. So sculpture is to take like a piece of marble or a piece of wood and make it into a form. You sculpture, and the act of doing that is to sculpture. This is a beautiful rock. A rock is like a large piece of mineral, a rock. Okay, a lot of times a rock is bigger than a stone, and a lot of times it's so big you can't move it. The cradle rocks the baby to sleep, but to rock means to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth as a means of putting someone to sleep. To rock. You see we go like this, you're rocking the baby, but a lot of times you rock them in a crib. And you go like this to the crib and the baby's going back and forth and then the baby falls asleep. Pocket, the pocket is in your pants where you put something in. So your pocket is that thing on your pants that you put money in, or you put your phone in your back pocket. They will only pocket the money. It means the same thing. It's like they will only take the money, but not necessarily put it in their pocket. They will only steal the money to take it illegally. I want to use stone in the bathroom. You want to use stone, like marble is a stone that you use that as a material in order to tile your bathroom. They tried to stone her to death. Using a stone is much smaller than a rock, and they stoned her to death. They killed her by using stones and rocks. I broke the iron. The iron is that instrument or that appliance that you use in order to take out the wrinkles in your pants or in your shirt. And the act of doing that is to iron. What time is the show? The spectacular, where people are going to be entertaining you. And show means, when they say show me, demonstrate to me. Allow me to see with my eyes, show me. To hug is to go like this to somebody. Can you see it? To hug someone. And the act of doing that is to hug. Eye, she has a black eye. This is your eye right here. And to eye everyone who walks by. It's connected. You look at everyone who walks by. Saw. Saw is something that you use in order to cut, and it has jagged edges, and you saw. The act of doing that is to saw. So we go back to words in English that are both noun, that is both a noun and a verb. I'm going to show quite a few of these words because they're important. Because sometimes you just don't know when the word is a noun, when it's a verb. Sometimes you do, especially if you know different grammatical clues. If it's used after indefinite article or definite article, it's a noun. If it's the subject of the sentence or the object of a sentence, normally it's a noun. If you're talking about an action, obviously it's a verb, but it's not that simple because you have things called gerunds. Gerunds are verbs that play the role of a noun. So it's not that simple, but it's not super complicated either. Every language has its challenges. So that's what I'm going over. That's why I like doing this. I like finding those areas of English that are challenging and breaking them down so they become understandable. So this is Corella Fickler McLean at welcome.com, welcome, WYLCOME.com. Thank you for coming to my website. Thank you for coming to my video. Thank you for sharing my video. Thank you for subscribing, allowing me, putting your drop in the glass. Every drop helps in the glass so that I can use my skills to make my living instead of having to work for somebody else. And the bigger I become, the more people I can employ. Because these are, even when I show you all the cards, and that's going to take about a year, all the cards that I made, there are a lot more cards. And it's a way that helps Black businesses grow. I become a business, I can employ people who might have given up on studying language because they figure you can't make a living studying language. And I'm showing you, not only can you make a living, you can make a good living. Well, I want to thank you. I'm going to stop sharing. I want to thank you very much and have a good day. Bye.